Hey, what's up? This is Troye Sivan. I just did an interview on the Zach Sang show, and we talked about everything from Timothy Chalamet's nipples to my new song, Angel Baby. Check it out.
Let's do this. Zach Sang Show.
Hello, beautiful human. I'm Zach. That's Dan, and we're here with a nervous Troye Sivan in a thumper vest.
In a thumper vest that I didn't know was Thumper until you told me, but yeah, it's Thumper.
A Disney
Love
icon. I love him so much.
Apparently so.
I think I just gendered Thumper, and I shouldn't have, because I don't know Thumper's gender, and that's wrong of me.
Did you say he or she?
I did say he, and I assumed. And you know what they say when you assume? You make an ass out of you and me.
Oh.
Wow.
According to Wikipedia, Thumper is a boy.
Okay.
Oh, there it is.
And the internet doesn't lie.
Ever.
Never.
That's what I hear.
Ever. Yeah.
It's an honor to have you here.
Thanks so much. I'm so excited to be here. I haven't been here in a really long time. I also just haven't really done an interview in a long time. I've done little ones, but not like a big one.
And you had a release in the middle of 2020.
Yeah.
Do you look back at 2020 and feel like you needed to get In a Dream out into the world, and that was the right decision?
Yeah, I mean, it was honestly a bit of a bummer because, I think I realized that the thing about releasing music is you get all of these really, tactile, real-life experiences around the release that make you feel like you've released something. And I had none of that. So I may as well, I felt like I was just, posting an Instagram or something like that. You know, it's only now that I'm back in America, I played a little show a couple weeks ago and people were singing the songs and stuff. And that's when you're like, oh, wait, damn, I released music last year. Because other than that, it was just a bit, I don't know.
You're distant from it.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't that fun.
But did you need to make the music for yourself?
Well, so I made the music before the pandemic. Most of it. Yeah, I think we were doing little final touches and stuff, but most of it was done just before. And so I was sitting on it, and I think it was 100% a panic response. I was like, the world is falling apart. I'm pretty sure I just lost my job. Let me make sure that I still am doing what I want to do. And so, I think I was in Australia for maybe 10 days. It was March of 2020 basically, and I panicked and was let's release these songs that I have.
Why did you feel like you lost your job? Because the world shut down? And
well, I mean, I literally lost my job at that time because I was filming a movie in Atlanta and then we got shut down. So it was
and have they ever picked up?
Yeah, we finished it it was miraculous. It was peak COVID. We came back in, I think it was October of 2020, and we were in Miami and stuff where no one was wearing masks, and we were just testing 3 times a week. We had little zones that we didn't leave. We didn't we were fully in a bubble and no one got COVID. It was incredible though, because we were shooting in public spaces sometimes and we were oh, everyone's gonna be wearing masks in the background, how are we gonna get these people that are in the background of the shots, and not a single mask in sight.
When you shoot in Florida.
Yeah, so that was one of the pros of shooting there.
Is it stressful to be an actor in that situation and to embody other emotions when you kind of have to park the panorama at the door?
Yeah, I mean, there was always panorama drama on set. So it was you had to kind of really separate from it and try and just remember what it was like to not be in a pandemic. And yeah, I mean, I felt really safe though, so that was good. On the set, I felt completely safe, so it was cool to be able to just it was actually a nice distraction from everything that was going on.
Why did you take on the movie in the first place? Why did you feel like you needed to act again?
I loved the script so much. It's a movie called 3 Months, and it is, I don't really know how much I'm allowed to say, but you know what, I'm sure they'll be fine. It's this movie about a boy who has a one-night stand and gets a text a few days later saying hey, I just tested positive for HIV, so you should go get tested. And he goes to get tested and the doctor's well, you need to wait for it to incubate in your system if you do have it. And he says, well, how long do I have to wait? And the doctor says 3 months. And then it's weirdly a coming of age comedy. It's the producers of Juno are making it, so it's
wow.
really similar in tone. It's Juno's about teen pregnancy, but it's still somehow makes you feel good, and so it's really similar in tone to that. and it's my first lead in an American movie, and I just like fell in love with it, and now I've seen it and I'm really proud of it. So yeah, we'll see.
That's incredibly exciting.
How do you get into that mindset to imagine like you're somebody going through those 3 months where you don't know what's going to happen?
I mean, I think firstly, it was weird that we were making a movie about an epidemic and then a pandemic hits, and we like are all waiting constantly. We get shut down. We have to wait for God knows how long until we can start filming again. So I think everyone became super aware of feelings that I think maybe audiences wouldn't have been able to relate to before. Obviously, it's on a completely different scale, but yeah, that like health anxiety and that limbo, that feeling of limbo, became extremely, extremely clear. What that feels like to everyone. But yeah, I mean, it was cool because I think, as an actor, I was wondering, because like I've never trained as an actor or anything like that, and that is like a great source of insecurity for me. But I was just kind of trusting the people around me that were saying like, no, you're like good at this and this is going well. But I was curious, like, am I going to have to like imagine my dog dying to cry, or like, where am I going to pull from? And ultimately I ended up really, really, it sounds crazy and like such an actor-y thing to say, but I like formed a relationship with the character that I was playing that like I just cared about him so much. And so it ended up being, I ended up just like pulling from a space of empathy where I was like, damn, I really, really like this kid and I wish the best for him, and I'm like scared for him and I hope that he's going to be okay. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, it was cool.
You kind of exist in a space where you don't see yourself as a character, but you're still two different people?
In like the most wanky way, yeah. Like that sounds insufferable, but yeah, I do.
What is it like to watch that?
Well, I mean, that's the goal, I guess, is to like separate so that when I'm watching the movie, I don't feel like I'm watching myself, And like, of course, you can't ever get around that. And I think that's also kind of like a thing that comes with having spent so much time, music is like all about you, and it's like you are the whole brand and you are the thing that people know, and it's all about your personality and stuff. And also before that I was on YouTube and that was all about like personality and me and everything. I think I like needed to make that separation, otherwise it just would have felt like a fraud,
I get that. That's when you're watching it on I guess they sent you a screener or you went to a theater or whatever, like I mean, that's a lot of you on the screen playing somebody else. Like, is it weird to watch?
It was, yeah. I mean, the first time I watched it, it was like just very overwhelming. And, I'm thinking about like, oh, I remember that day this happened, or this was right before we got shut down or whatever. You're thinking about like the memories that you have attached to filming. And only when I watched it with friends and family where they don't know any of that, I kind of could like put myself in their shoes and it felt like I was watching it for the first time. And that was when I got excited because I was like, I could feel their energy. And then it was cool because like my best friend, she and I have been best friends since we were like 2. She immediately after the movie was asking me questions, not about like what it was like to film it and stuff, but she was asking me like about Caleb, the character, and like, what happens here. And, it felt like she really was like drawn into the story. And she knows me better than pretty much anyone else. So it's like, that made me excited that she saw Caleb and not Troye,
Yeah.
Is that like a sign that you did a good job?
I don't know. We'll see.
Do you feel like you've done a good job? Even though the world hasn't seen it yet?
I feel like I did. I feel like of course I can like there's always stuff that I want to do better. And I don't think that'll ever go away. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, like I will relax, I think, when people watch the movie, and if they like it, then I'll be able to relax. But it's like the same reason why I've never called myself an actor, because it's like music, I've had all of these experiences that affirmed me all along the way. Like, yeah, you're doing great. Or yeah, people are singing at a show. Like, how can you kind of ignore that. Whereas with acting, it is sort of like releasing the EP, where it's like you do the thing in this vacuum, and then it just like goes out, and until people see it, you really don't know like how it's going to be received or anything.
When will you call yourself an actor? Because the weird thing is, you and I did an interview a long time ago when you were a kid, and you were in the X-Men movie.
You interviewed me for that?
Over the phone.
What?
The year
That was
was
in
like
2009.
literally.
Wow.
I'm an old person.
Wow, same apparently. That's crazy.
So you have been in movies before, obviously,
Yeah.
a couple of them.
I think maybe I just need to go to like some classes. Because I don't know, I think it's like this thing of, you know, like if your instincts are good, then that's cool and you should go with it. And, you know, clearly something's working out. But then there's like also just imposter syndrome of like, oh, am I getting cast in this because I already have a platform? Or, you know, so I like insist on auditioning for stuff all the time because I like want to prove to myself that I can do it, you know? Yeah, maybe after this one, I'll start saying I'm an actor.
You'll add it to your resume?
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah. I've done acting. Am I an actor? Not yet, you know?
I feel like a lot of life happens to you between In a Dream and Angel Baby. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Like the most life?
Mm-hmm.
Can you describe what a power bottom ballad is?
Sure. I mean, to me, it's like the feel of the song just felt so like gushy and like that sounds gross in this context. It just felt really like it felt so maximalist and like giving it all to someone, you know what I mean? And I think that is an emotion that I'm familiar with. And, you know, it just like felt, yeah, I just feel like I was like laying it on thick and it felt cool. Like, because I didn't write the chorus on that song, which that was kind of like a pandemic thing. Was I was not in the studio and was like desperate to be creative. And so they sent me, my friend Sarah, who wrote it, she sent me the chorus and I was like, it felt like one of those like forever choruses, like one of, you know, a chorus that's just kind of existed in the universe somehow, you know? And so I was like, okay, I really don't want to mess this up. And it feels like camp and it feels full on, but in like the most satisfying way.
Yeah, like anthemic, but also fulfilling.
Totally.
And yeah, it's been in my head since this first listen.
Okay, nice.
It's really great.
Yeah, so then I just was like, okay, this sounds fun to try and within this like massive chorus, how can I like find myself and find my story? And so then I ended up writing the verses and the bridge. And I just like didn't touch the chorus because I thought it was perfect. Yeah, that's kind of how it all happened.
Yeah, but where does it come from emotionally? It sounds like you're making a plea to somebody.
Yeah, I mean, I think it comes from like feeling really spent emotionally and like romantically and kind of like burnt a little bit. And one of the things that has pulled me through those feelings is like the fantasy of what could be in the future. And I don't know if it's like real or if it's actually going to happen or anything like that. But the idea that someone could come and like sweep you off your feet and take away all of that pain from the past, I wanted to explore that. So the song starts being super, you know, like broken. And then in the pre-chorus, there's this like, again, very sort of camp, like cinematic, like you came out of the blue on a rainy night. And it's like all of these like romantic tropes of yeah, someone kind of classically coming and sweeping you off your feet.
I'll fall in love with the little things, counting the tattoos on your skin, tell me a secret, and baby, I'll keep it, and maybe we can play house for the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Yes?
Yeah.
So do you explore this only after experiencing it, or do you explore it after like desiring it and not having it?
No, I definitely experienced it. I've like for sure been very deep in love. And I think like the hope and like the fantasy comes from, you know, an experience like that can really, really shape you as a person and can kind of like, it's an up and then a big down as well. And so I think the idea is that like when you're in that lowest low, maybe the only thing that can save you is like someone else coming along, which is probably problematic. Like I should
Well, it
have,
becomes cyclical.
right. But like,
Or you rely on it when that person who brought you up the you know, that last time ends
Yeah.
up leaving you in a down place.
yeah, it's like, I think it's probably something that is healthier to like go to therapy and become okay being by yourself rather than like relying on some Prince Charming to come save the day, you know?
Are you okay with being by yourself?
Sometimes like I'm much better now.
You have TikTok.
I have TikTok, which is such a lifesaver.
Your TikToks bring me joy.
Oh, thank you. But like, I'm not kidding. Having social media really, really, really makes it like so much easier. The other night I accidentally had a shrimp burrito and I'm allergic.
You're supposed to be chicken, right?
Yeah, it was supposed to be chicken and I was having an allergic reaction and I live by myself. And even though the reaction was like fine, my throat was itching. I was like, and of course, like I start spiraling and I'm like, I'm going to have an anaphylactic reaction for the first time in my life.
Naturally.
And I'm alone and I'm like 15 minutes from the closest hospital. So the ambulance is going to take like probably 20 minutes to get to me.
You're 50 minutes from the closest hospital. Where
Yeah.
do you live?
I live up in the hills. And so I was fully like spiraling.
So you go to TikTok?
And I drove to my manager's house. He lives really close. And I took an antihistamine.
Okay.
And so I knew I was going to be okay. But I still had this anxiety of like, you know, I'm Googling like how long until you get an anaphylactic reaction to see if I'm like in the clear yet, you know? And while I'm like panicking, I open Twitter and TikTok and I start like talking to these people that I've never met on the internet to kind of like update them on what's going on. And in that moment, I didn't feel like I was by myself, you know? So it really does help.
It's nice.
It's nice.
But you want to be okay with being by yourself, but do you feel like you have good friends around you?
Yeah, I do. I mean, the thing is, so I basically moved to Australia throughout COVID and so much became so clear to me, like family and friends and what I just like want from my life. And now I have great friends here and everything, but I also am just like very clear on the way I want to kind of like split my time. And so even when I am alone here and I feel lonely, I kind of know that I have this foundation to rely on back in Australia.
Yeah, it's only temporary.
Yeah, exactly. So it makes it less like of a scary feeling.
LA's the lonely part?
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you want from your life?
I think like one thing that I realized is that like I don't, not to say that I ever could be, but like I don't have any desire to be like Beyonce level or like Taylor Swift level, like famous or successful.
But does that change?
What
Did
do you
you
mean?
want that one? Did
I
you
think
want
when I
that
was
before?
a kid, like when I was, you know, like I idolized Michael Jackson when I was a kid and like, yeah, I guess like my thought prior would have been like, why stop? You know, like if things are going well, just like kind of keep going. And now it's like, I really, really am just, I think removing myself from like LA and from the industry for a year and a half and having such a fulfilling, exciting life. Like, I'm not kidding. I got to the point where in Australia, I was as excited to have a dinner party where I was cooking that like I would be, the feeling is not that different from like going to the Met Gala or something like that, where I'm just like these are both scratching different parts of my brain for sure.
But
and
equally.
I love both things.
Yeah.
And like, I think I just sort of realized that I am exactly where I want to be. And so it took a lot of the pressure off. So yeah, now I'm just like, I want to do stuff that's fun and I want to do stuff because I love what I do. But all of the sort of like extra pressure has kind of like gone out the window.
But Isn't it funny that like when you come to that realization, like you had a great year. I mean, you, at least from where I'm sitting, is one of your most successful songs.
No, I think it like is.
Yeah, like it's.
No, it's weird, and the thing is that like, you know, in Australia, I was having some anxiety about like, oh, I wonder what's going to happen when I get back to America. Like, is this all, like, is this my life now forever? My life in Australia. You
Dinner
know?
parties.
Dinner parties.
And spiders.
Yeah, exactly. And I got back and was like thrown straight into the deep end, and I was having so much fun. Like so much fun.
Because it was new again.
Yeah, and I'm just like, I remembered how much I love my job. And so yeah, it's like, it's cool. I've got a really nice balance now where I just have this like renewed excitement, but it's like, it's weird. The second I stopped caring as much, things have just been going like really well. And there's like a lot of really exciting things coming that are pushing me way out of my comfort zone. And I'm just like along for the ride now, with the safety of knowing that if all of this was to disappear tomorrow and I go back to Australia,
Life's great.
I'm still okay.
That's
you know?
awesome.
Yeah.
What else are you thinking over there, Daniel?
Oh, sorry.
I mean, you have your screen set up.
Yeah.
I wanted Dan to watch your TikToks this morning. I'm a big Troye Sivan TikTok fan. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. There have been a couple moments where I'm like, is Troye okay?
Right. Like what?
I mean, I don't have any of the TikToks top of mind.
Right.
But there have been moments where I'm like, you know.
But like, what are the concerns?
I mean, you definitely flirt with people over the app.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, how do you find love? Are you even looking? Do you even give about it?
I definitely give a about it. I don't know yet.
Are you on apps or anything?
Yeah.
What are you on?
A couple.
Are you on Tinder?
Yeah.
I definitely saw you the other day.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. No, but like I can't really take it seriously. Like I got banned on Hinge because
It's not really you?
yeah, people were reporting me, and this is so embarrassing. I messaged Hinge on Instagram, like at Hinge, and I was like, hey, I got banned. Can I have my account back, please? And they were like, we're so sorry. Yep, 100%. They gave me my account back. A week later, I got banned again. A week later, I got banned. And now they've ghosted me. Hinge won't reply to me.
You know,
So
they don't want you.
I'm permanently off Hinge.
It's weird. I saw you on Tinder, but I have not seen you on Raya.
Really?
Yeah, the one app I think you should be on.
Well, like I said, the thing is that I don't really take them seriously. I think for me, it's like a self-soothing thing where I'm like, knowing that they're there is
Even
nice.
when- It's weird, yeah.
But like, because it makes me feel like I'm proactively doing something. But in the end of the day, like I've been on maybe like 1 or 2 dates from an app.
From Tinder in specific?
No. I've never met anyone from Tinder.
Yeah.
Do people
That's a
actually
real-
believe it's you?
No.
Yeah, I wouldn't
Which
think
also
they would.
makes me feel fine. Like I'm okay with that. You know, I don't, like I said, I don't take it serious.
It is weirdly validating, you know, when people.
Well, yeah, it's just like a nice way to sort of feel like you're taking an active role, even though I'm completely not. It makes me at least feel like I'm trying.
I've met 2 people from Tinder in the probably like 8 years I've been on the app or something.
Right.
That's actually the number.
I feel like I'm much more likely to meet someone through friends or
Yes.
something like that.
Out and about.
Yeah.
How
I
much?
also don't really like messaging. So like,
I mean, I'm a voice memo person.
oh,
Yeah, I don't do. My thumbs have better things to do.
okay. Whoa, like what?
I don't know. I'll get you a list.
Okay.
But yeah, no typing for me. And a face-to-face communication.
Mm.
I'll even a good FaceTime.
Yeah, for sure. And lately I've done this thing where like I try not look at people's Instagrams after I've met them, because like I think I'll have an impression of someone from meeting them in real life. And then I go on Instagram and I like get the ick from like a cheesy caption or something like that. And I don't want that to be a thing for me. So I'm trying to not like, I think real life is where it's at. If you feel like a connection with someone, or you just like their vibe, even just as a friend or something like that, it's better.
We're separating identities.
Yeah.
Because it's true. Like, you can see something that someone posts and you could be turned off to them, and then you could be missing out on a good thing.
Exactly.
You never know.
When you go back to Australia, does Nash stay here?
Yeah,
Oh, that's a
because
bummer.
he's a pit bull, so he's banned in Australia. Like I'm banned on Hinge, he's banned in Australia. So he can't come ever. But it's okay because he like has a great life here, and yeah, it's all good.
No, he lives a great life.
What made you want to get a pit bull? Because like, I mean, just looking at you, if I was to meet you, I wouldn't think like this guy's gonna go adopt a pit bull.
I call bull. I think your dog looks like you, and I was
Really?
weirdly thinking about that this morning as I debated bringing my dog in, and I was like, usually people tell me that I look like my dog,
Yeah.
and then I was wondering, like, do you look like your dog? And the answer is yes.
Honestly, this sounds so weird, but that's a huge compliment to me because I think he's a very handsome, like, I think if he was a human, he would be hot. Like he's like got cool, he's got this like cool factor because he's like all black with this white face. It's very chic.
Yeah.
And
Sounds like you're
there he
describing
is.
yourself.
Like, how cool does he look?
A little
Yeah.
photo that works.
Come on, that's you though. Do they not look alike, everybody in the room? I mean, Jesus.
Thank you.
Yeah, everybody nods in approval because they're afraid to disagree.
I don't see it.
Get the out of here.
But also, I like grew up with pit bulls. They're the sweetest dogs in the world.
And
So-
you rescued them from my friends at Wags and Walks.
Mhm.
We should put a link in the description. So if you happen to be like looking for a dog, they have a place in Nashville, a place in LA.
Yep,
They're great.
they're the best. They really are.
And your dogs are beautiful.
Thank you.
There was a song that you had in a dream, Could Cry Just Thinking About You. It starts as like a 52-second song, right? And then you choose to extend it. First question is why? And then the second question is which came first, the longer version and then you cut? Or is it the shorter version and then you choose to extend?
So with Could Cry, that was like truly one of those moments where I was like, songwriting is like saving my life. Like I was really, really in the thick of it and just like going through it. And I wrote it in my kitchen. My friend Teo, who I'd been working with, Teo Ham, he's like got the most beautiful, beautiful sounds, and he had sent me a track, and it was that. And so I wrote it by myself in my kitchen and like recorded it in my kitchen, and that's like the version that you hear on In a Dream, and it sounds like kind of bad, but like it just was a very, very, very like real heavy moment for me, and I was like crying when I was writing it and all this stuff. Anyways, because of the context in which I wrote it, I didn't take it very seriously as a song. Like I was like, oh, this is just like a song that I wrote in my kitchen and recorded in my kitchen.
Yeah, but why do you not take that seriously when that's like the most vulnerable you,
I don't know, I probably should have, but like it just didn't feel legit for some reason. And so I decided to make it just like an interlude on because I knew that I loved it, but I put it out as an interlude on the EP, and people really responded to it. And then when I was doing this like performance video of the EP, I sang the full version, and the reaction was just like insane. And still, like at the moment, if I meet people out and about and they like tell me that they like my music, they talk about that song and they talk about my house in Australia. And so it just like has really shaken me that that's the one that people have connected with the most.
Yeah,
I
but
don't know.
what does that tell you as you move forward and create?
Well, that was the thing, is that like I voice noted Teo the other day actually to say to him like just how grateful I am, because it completely reminded me of like why I make music and what it's all about, and what it's capable of for me personally, as far as like working through stuff, but then also what it's capable of,
For others.
like it was an interlude, and people come up to me and talk to me about it. And so it was just a very pure like songwriting moment where I felt like, wow, this is amazing. To be able to write songs is just like the coolest thing.
What did it get you through?
Like a lot. Yeah, it just was like, I think, there's stuff that you would say it in like a journal, you would say it to your therapist, you'd maybe say it to your best friend. And for some reason, for me, I would also say it in a song. And other than that, like I don't really like feel super comfortable talking about
Of
it.
course.
But but yeah, it just like it's like my inner thoughts basically.
Do you have enough music right now for a new album?
No, no. I am writing right now and like having the best time doing it, and I think I'm gonna take kind of like a bit of a casual approach because like I just really want, I put out an EP, and so I might like release a song here or there. Like Angel Baby is kind of like a standalone song. I think I want to do maybe like one or two more of those just because I'm really enjoying that process. But I really do want to like hunker down and make like an album at some point. But I want to do it when I've got the time to do it and like really do it properly. And I think the next few months is just going to be a little bit tough to do that.
Do you feel like you've released your best song, or is the best yet best still to come?
I think the best is still to come. Yeah, I wrote a song maybe like 2 weeks ago that I really, really, really love.
What's different about that song compared to all the others?
It's like Could Cry-esque in the fact that it's I wrote it by myself, and it sort of like tells a story perfectly, in my opinion. Like it feels like it, it's like, I think the goal for me with songwriting is like you can tell someone your story or you can like make them feel it, and like that's where the magic is to me. And I feel like I use the word magic on purpose because it's like impossible to make it happen just
again.
Yeah, if it happens, it happens. And like no matter who you're writing with or how good of a writer you are or whatever, some days it's just like there and some days it's not, and it's very rare. And so I feel like I like caught this thing, and everything about it feels the way that I want it to feel.
Is accepting the rarity of like creating a song that makes you feel like a part of the process? Because I feel like you've done that before, and then maybe all you want to do after that is duplicate exactly what you did that last time, and then maybe they just don't hit the same.
Well, that's the thing. I've never really like taken one of my own songs into the studio and been like, let's make this again, but like a bit different. Like that's not exciting to me. So yeah, I mean, when I first started writing music, I used to get like so down when I would have a bad writing day. And now that I've done it enough times, I kind of accept, like you said, I accept that it's rare. I accept that it's like this magical, elusive thing. It's not necessarily like, don't place all of your self-worth on that. Some days it's going to happen, some days it's not, and that's okay.
Well, that's it. Like, I wouldn't be obsessed with making the exact same thing that I made before. I'd be obsessed with duplicating the ingredients. So, like, that energy or whatever could maybe come again.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely would love to, like, try and replicate a feeling. Like, if I could write another song that replicates the way that My made me feel, like just as far as like that specific energy, that would be cool. And like I would do that, but I would just never bring it into the studio and be like, I want to make this. Like it's got to happen sort of by accident. Otherwise it doesn't feel genuine to me.
That song's so good, and now it's in my head.
Thanks. Nice.
Really. What are you thinking? Do you have any more images, or do you set up the TV screen just to show the dog?
No, I do have more images.
Okay, got
I think maybe we should figure out this debate.
Oh.
What is this?
Hold on.
Are you okay?
Here it is. Timothy Chalamet or Harry Styles?
Ooh.
Oh, age-old question. I have never met Harry Styles, and I met Timothy Chalamet for the first time at the Met, and I really don't know. It's like it's genuinely a tough question. I honestly feel like kind of because if I was to have any sort of experience with either of them, I would be so caught up in the fact that was Harry Styles or Timothy Chalamet.
That it's actually
so,
happening.
I wouldn't be a good partner or B, like I just don't think I'd be present. I feel like I'd be doing it for the wrong reasons.
Look at
If they weren't them and I met them on the street, I'd be like, wow, that guy's so hot, and like go for it. But because they are who they are, like I don't think I'd be able to get past it.
What was it like when you met Timothy? Were you nervous?
I was a little bit nervous, yeah. It was nice though. I don't think I would have gone up to him and spoken to him because I just like don't know. I'm like socially a bit nervous about that kind of stuff. especially if I think someone's cool. But him and I sort of like locked eyes, and he was the one that was like, "Oh, hey, what's up?" And so then I was like, "Okay, this is happening. Be cool." And then we talked for a while. Actually, it was really nice. We spoke about how we have like exactly the same body from the head down. Like when I was watching Call Me by Your Name, down to his like nipples, I was like, this is me. You could like chop the head off and tell me that was me in that movie and I would believe you. And I know my body well. So yeah, we spoke about that. Maybe that was weird of me to bring up to him, but I did.
Oh, yeah,
I
your
didn't say the
nipples
nipples
remind
part,
me
though.
of yours,
No,
yeah.
I didn't talk about the nipples.
I mean,
I was just like, we are the same.
Do we exchange information, or do you just go your separate ways?
No,
after
we just
that?
sort of went our separate ways. Maybe he was freaked out.
Oh, you never. I mean, next time.
Yeah.
You'll run into him.
Yeah,
Was,
next time I won't talk about it.
Okay.
Was this before or after you guys met?
Before.
Oh.
Yeah.
And do you think he saw this?
I posted it after. I don't think he's seen it.
Prayer circle that Timothy is feeling bi-curious and single tonight.
I just thought that was funny. I just thought it was funny. Like, I don't take TikTok seriously at all. Don't ever believe anything I say on there.
But do you want to hook up with somebody who has the same exact body as you? Isn't that weird?
I guess I'm like curious about it. Like, you know, like.
You're like, oh, this is what it feels like to sleep with me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like some mirrors.
Yeah.
Cool. Is that it?
Yeah, I mean that was better than I couldn't have gone any better.
Those are your images.
I'm just looking forward to the time you meet Harry Styles and what that first conversation is going to be like.
Yeah, I don't know.
You really have never met him?
I've never met him.
Wow.
Never met him. Maybe that's like on purpose because I've spoken about Harry Styles a lot throughout the years, just like about how much I like him. So maybe it's by design. He's like,
He avoids you?
yeah, maybe.
I'm sure that's very present on
Like
his
maybe
mind.
there's a restraining order and I just don't know, you know?
His team keeps the paths clear.
Well, the funny thing is that his team is my team. So
So they really do
I
strategically
really do
keep you
think it's like
away.
strategic that we haven't met.
I was going to say, like, I've met Harry Styles. I mean, at a certain point, you meet somebody once and you keep running into them. So I've run into Harry Styles like a lot. Like,
What's that like?
Incredible, actually.
Really?
Yeah, the last time, well, he had called into our show during the pandemic, but before that, we talked at the Blackpink concert at the Forum, and I mean, his eyes are gorgeous and intense and beautiful, and yeah, it's nice. It was it's
Charming
almost
man.
spiritual.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Yeah, I feel like he's one of those people who I imagine has like a real like aura around him. He seems so nice and
Yeah.
lovely.
But so do you.
Thanks.
And also, like, you know, that type of energy attracts one another.
So what are you saying?
I mean, you know, if you're ever in the same room, you may you may lock eyes the same way you locked eyes with
Okay.
Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah, let's hope so.
Yeah,
Let's see.
fingers crossed.
Mm.
Cool. I mean, we've covered a lot here. You know, Easy with Casey Musgraves. That's a pretty cool little take on your record.
Yeah, I mean, I just like love Casey so much.
How do you give notes on that? Do you, or do you just get whatever she does and you go, okay, that's it?
No, whatever she does. Like, I didn't really give any notes. It was cool because our parts like sort of aligned perfectly. You know, I think she had heard Easy, and then she was going through stuff in her own life, and then she like reheard it, and it was just like a different time where everything just kind of clicked and made sense. And she texted me and was like gushing about the song and stuff like that, and how it had, you know, taken on this like new meaning to her. And then she wrote her verse, and I was just like obsessed.
What does that feel like to get that reach? Like for somebody like that to reach out to you, but not only like say that that they're a fan, but to be emotionally affected by a song or to be understood by a record.
I mean, it's really, really, really cool because also Casey's like a songwriter. You know what I mean? Like she is like that's her craft, and in my opinion, she's like a master of it. So it's a huge honor, you know. It's like I just really, really admire her, and so yeah, it felt really nice.
Angel Baby's out. Do you know what song you're gonna put out next?
No, no, yeah, no, sorry. I mean, I've got like ideas, but no, there's like cool stuff happening, so it's like I'm gonna be kind of like moving around and splitting my time and there will be 100% stuff coming out. It's just like it might not be what people expect, you know?
I don't even know what that means.
Nor do I really. I just sort of bullshit that whole answer.
Got it. Well done.
Cool. Nice.
Bravo. How many songs do you have finished?
Maybe like 3 or 4. Like I'm still really early days. Really, really early days. And I think a lot of the kind of like the desire to just kind of like keep moving is the music industry, first of all, has changed so much since I started. Like I feel like you can kind of do what feels right. There's less rules. And then also the thing that I was talking about before, where it's like Australia has made me kind of view this in a much more pure way of what it is, which is like do what, again, feels right and do what like feels exciting in the moment. And it's not about like, you know, the rules of this is what you do now and then this is what you do and then this is the right thing to do and then this is the right thing to do. It's like I'm happy to just like kind of I'm on this crazy ride and I'm like loving every single day. So it's like I don't want to mess with that, you know.
Does modeling come natural to you?
Modeling?
Yeah, you did the Fenty fashion show.
Oh. No. Like, no. Like, I clearly don't.
No, that's not even, I mean,
it's not on
you haven't even called yourself an actor yet. And you did a
no,
whole
and I
movie.
will never, ever call myself a model. Ever.
Why not?
You look good.
Thank you, but I'm just not a model. It's not me. I mean, it's fun. The cool thing about Fenty is like, that's okay.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's like, I think, you know, I had a really, really weird time over the pandemic with my body. Like, I think a lot of people did. And so to come to a fashion show and be walking in like these tiny little chainmail shorts and that's it. And no underwear, by the way, because like it was like the chainmail was catching the underwear and it was like making it all messed up. So I was like pretty exposed, and I think that would have been a great source of like insecurity and anxiety for me. But testament to that show and that brand and to Rihanna, I looked around and there's so many incredibly beautiful, hot, cool people all feeling themselves and all feeling like so hot in that moment. And it sort of gives you permission to be like, hell yeah, no, like I love the way I look and like I'm excited to do this. And so I think if it was a normal fashion show, I would have probably been really insecure. But in that moment, I felt good.
It's very much like an everybody brand.
Yeah, exactly.
It's made for everyone.
Everybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, yes. That was really creative.
I think that's like in their like branding stuff. Like when I was like reading up about the brand, they do that. And I was like, oh, cool.
Everybody. I like that.
Yeah.
Bravo.
If the chain underwear is getting caught on your like actual underwear, well,
surely it would be worse to not wear underwear.
yeah, when it chain, like get your penis.
No. Okay, so basically, I'm trying to remember what was actually happening. Maybe it was that it was sticking. My undies were too long, and they were sticking out of the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, I think that's what the issue was. And then it was tugging on my like hairs on my thighs. That's what it was.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So were you comfortable wearing the dress to the Met Gala, or did that take some building up to?
It's so weird because I really thought that was going to be like a thing for me in my head. I knew that I wanted to do it, and I didn't know why I wanted to do it, but I knew that I wanted to do it. And then, you know, I was like, because the designer's got to make the dress, so I only really tried it on like maybe 2 days before. And I was curious to see, like, am I going to feel uncomfortable? Am I going to feel like I'm doing drag? Like, what's the vibe? And I put it on and I felt so like myself and so like hot and cool. And not in like I've never questioned my gender. I'm like, I feel very much like a cis man. And it wasn't about that at all. And so that it just like further confirmed to me that it sounds so cliche, but like clothes truly just have no gender. And it like opened my mind up. I'm like so stoked now because I'm like knowing the way that I felt in it. Like that is not the last time that I'll wear a dress, for sure not.
You want to capture it again?
Yeah, like it's just like, okay, now there's legitimately no rules. Like whatever I feel the most like myself in, like I was like slinking around the Met in this little dress, like
You looked amazing.
talking to people, and I was in these like huge shoes, like high heels, and I felt great. So it's like I'm excited to see what it's like opened up a whole new world for me.
What was the conversation like with the designers? Like, what did you tell them you were looking for? Did you kind of give them free rein to do whatever?
Well, so I was working with my stylist Mel Ottenberg, and we were going back and forth about like, you know, like what does America, you know, mean to us? And there was so many different routes, and I think the one that we ended up taking was, it reminded me of New York, and like, I thought of like Chic and like Black and White and like Robert Mapplethorpe, and it was about kind of capturing that like New York nightlife feel. And like the little black dress is such a classic, you know, like silhouette, and so it felt like it ticked a bunch of boxes. But then I also wanted to kind of I wanted to sort of toughen it up a little bit, and so leather to me is like, you know, when I think of leather, I think it's really American, and so we put on this like kind of kinky like leather armband, and so it felt like, as an outfit to me, it felt like queer New York, and that just was a cool sort of sect of American society that I wanted to play into. Yeah.
You talked about, you know, never questioning your gender, but please correct me if I'm wrong. During the pandemic, was there a phase where you publicly questioned your sexuality?
As a joke. Well,
As a
actually,
joke.
I mean, like,
People took it seriously.
people took it seriously. No, 100%. I was kidding. I definitely have like felt. I think the cool thing about coming out when I was 14 is similar to like the way that the dress just did for me. It just sort of like bashes down any potential barriers. And so the truth is, I completely am a gay man. I identify as a gay man. I feel like a gay man. But at the same time, I just don't care. Like, you know, I like have drunkenly made out with girls, and like I just don't care.
Yeah, it's boundless. I understand that. Like
Yeah.
once you get rid of those boundaries at 14, wear a dress, whatever.
Right.
Like what the else? Like,
It doesn't matter.
who gives a
It doesn't matter. Yeah.
It's the right way to live.
I did see you had a little bit of trouble learning how to use the bathroom in the dress.
Oh yeah.
So you have to like lift it all the way up. Is that what that photo was?
Yeah. So I mean, the full story is that I was like going to the bathroom. I bumped into Tom Daly, the British diver, on the way, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go pee, and he's like, okay, I need to pee too. So we go to the bathroom, and the door is being held open by Rihanna.
Of course.
You know.
Duh.
Yep. She was like the door woman at the Met, apparently.
You give her a little tip.
The bathroom attendant.
And I go in, and there's like all these really cool people in there, and I'm like freaking out. And it was right after I'd filmed the Fenty show. And so first of all, I'm like, thank you for her, you know, opening the door for us. I'm like, thanks. And then I was like, oh, by the way, I just walked in the Fenty show. And she was like, oh, I know, like, you know, whatever. We were talking about that for a bit. And then just to kind of like prolong the conversation, because I'm talking to Rihanna, I was like, how do I pee in this dress? Like I've never worn a dress before. And she was like, just hike it up. So I pulled it up and stood at the urinal, and I was peeing. And then she said to Tom Daly, she's like, take the photo. And so he got this photo of me. And that's just like a special memory that I have. And if that photo didn't exist, I think I would have convinced myself that that was all a dream.
It sounds fake.
It sounds so fake.
Yeah, it really does.
And I don't expect anyone to believe me. Yeah.
We do.
Thanks.
There's proof.
Yeah.
Anything left?
Nope, just looking through the Instagram, see if we got anything else we could talk about on
We've
here.
covered a lot here today.
Yeah.
I really want more music from you.
You're going to get it for sure.
It'll come when it comes.
Yep.
Patience is a virtue that I'm figuring out how I can acquire it.
Mm.
So I'm trying to figure out patience. So,
Yeah.
Slow and steady.
Slow and steady, for sure.
When's the movie coming out?
I don't know. We're out to film festivals right now, and we'll see where it lands.
Exciting.
And then, yeah.
Look at
we'll see.
this. Angel Baby is the current single.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Listen to You with Tate McRae's on there, Regard. Are you surprised by the success of that record? Yeah.
Very, very. I mean, I know that I love the song. Like, I just have never really had like a song do that well at US radio. And I was also in Australia the whole time, so I didn't
you
know.
did no work. And by the way, all the other songs here, you did a bunch of work for in promo.
So at that point, it was just like another reason for me to be like, you know what, whatever's meant to happen is going to happen, and I can't predict any of this, so I'm just going to like do what feels right and hope for the best.
Do you write on that, or do you just take somebody else's lyrics and make it, you know?
I'm trying to think, did I? I mean, I definitely didn't write the whole song. That's why I'm having to pause. You know what? I made some like structural changes, but I didn't change any lyrics or anything like that.
And obviously, you don't meet any of them. Have you met Tate?
I've met Tate now.
She's great.
So nice. So nice. I've never met Regard, and nor is she.
Has anybody?
Yeah, I think I don't even know where he lives. But I would love to meet him because we've had this like amazing moment together. But I think he's in like Eastern Europe, and I don't know if he's ever going to come to America.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
I never even did like Tate and I did a million Zoom interviews together and stuff, and I never did one with him. So I would love to meet him and like say thank you.
If you're watching this, reach out.
Please.
Troye Sivan, thanks for hanging out and giving us time today. Really
Of course.
appreciate
Thanks
you
for
very
having me,
much.
guys. I haven't been to therapy, and like I feel like I just like word vomited, so I'm a bit nervous, but it's all good.
Anything else you want to get out?
No, we're done.
I have
Yeah, let's shut it down.
Troye Sivan, everybody.
Thank you very much.
Hey, beautiful human, thanks for watching our full interview, but I get it. Like, a full interview is a lot, so we got a clips channel. We don't expect you to watch the full thing anymore, so we just gave you the highlights. Please subscribe and notifications and all that stuff. Okay, cool. I love you.